Hey, what's up guys, Betty here and welcome to Xbox On and our Gamescom coverage. I'm joined by Matt and I'm pretty jealous actually because he got to go and play Shadow of War while I was doing a booth tour. Pretty jealous, like you're there killing Balrogs and all that sort of stuff and I'm just there like going, please, please.
Well, that's alright, you know, booth tour's pretty exciting. But yeah, I've got to play, like, pretty much played 3 hours of Shadow of War.
I'm going to be doing that on opening day. Like, launch day, that's going to be me, sat in front of the console, not moving.
Yeah, but it's kind of unreflective of the final game in that it was kind of like quite far into the game, so I had like all these powers unlocked and they kind of put us at a moment where there's loads of cool stuff to see. So what I'm going to talk you through is 5 amazing moments that I never thought I'd see in a Lord of the Rings game.
So it's going to be 5 things I'm just going to be like, I want to see it now.
You want to see it now, but you're quite a Lord of the Rings fan, right?
Yeah, like the thing is, I got brought up in it because I remember I was like read The Hobbit as a kid, and then I read the Lord of the Rings trilogy, saw the movies as they came out. So I've always been obsessed with Lord of the Rings games.
Secret dweeb.
Yeah, Secret dweeb. I'll play them all. Honestly, you name one, I've played it. But honestly, all right. So the first thing, right? What's your first thing?
So what I want to talk about is, the first game is pretty violent.
Yeah.
Like, there's no beating around the bush. Which is something that you wouldn't really see in Lord of the Rings.
Execution moves, all that sort of jazz.
But in this game, like, the things the hero can do are crazy violent. I mean, not just violent, but, like, awesomely cool in how they do stuff. So, like I said, this is quite far in the game, so when I basically opened it up, you had all these skills unlocked, all the skill tree, there's just everything. I could pretty much do anything I wanted to do. So some of the moves I wanted to show you, for example, is this, where you sneak up and kill someone, and if you stealth kill them, you can then send out your Wraith to kill 4 people in succession.
Oh my God.
It's, you know, when you see a patrol of like a line of people, if you get the guy on the back, you get him, and then it's shroom, shroom, shroom.
What, so Celebrimbor just comes like pops out, and just kind of just like, everyone else just drops dead around. Absolutely.
So that's really cool. I also really love the stealth kill via long range with the arrow. So if you aim the bow at any character, you can send out Celebrimbor to murder them, and then you warp over there yourself. So where you get levels with like lots of tall towers, you can just go snipe between the towers, taking them out. That's really cool.
So you've got loads of different tactics to kind of get around the map as well. And
absolutely. And you move so fast in this game. Like, I almost thought like you were going to be so overpowered, but as you see later in the video, I get my like ass handed to me by everything.
It happens though, because you just get swarmed. You're in a position where you're like, all right, I'm managing this, and then suddenly like a certain combination of orcs will come along and will just destroy you because you don't deal with like a berserker or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I find you're super powerful in stealth, but once you actually kick off the fighting, you suddenly have to be quite good at fighting to survive. One of the things I really love, each of the skills you have has like 3 modifiers which you can activate one at any given time. So for example, that skill where you fire the arrow and then zoom over and assassinate them, you can have it instead that you pull them over to you, but they come flying towards you, and you basically line up like a baseball batter and slice their head off as they slide past you.
That's just brutal.
It is. You would never see Frodo doing that.
No, definitely not. Well, Frodo would just be kind of like running in a corner, and then Samwise Gamgee would just be kind of like jumping across and hitting.
Absolutely. So you know, I think it's just he just doesn't move like any Lord of the Rings hero I've ever seen. But I think it's just so cool. I mean, there's so many moves. Like, I won't spoil the skill tree for everyone here because I think you've got to discover some of it for yourself.
It's one of the things they've always said every time I've spoken to a developer from Monolith. They've been like, we've got all these selections, because obviously in the first game they didn't have as much choice in the skill tree for you to do. So you've now got these multiple options where you can mix it up and kind of suit your play style and how you want to approach it, which I think is really cool, and also kind of obviously leads to those cool moments like kind of Wraith pulling someone across the map.
Yeah, you can also, I've got to mention this, won't show it though because you've got to discover it for yourself. You can punch a fire and make loads of spiders come out of it.
What?
Yeah, there's loads of spider attacks. It's all tied into Shelob. There's lots of spider stuff. If you don't like spiders, this game's going to freak you out.
So obviously, one of the things that you didn't think you would see was all the brutality in Middle Earth. But what's like your next favorite thing from your 3-hour play session? 3 hours.
So like a lot's been made of these big fortress invasions. Where you basically, it's so awesome because you basically, before you go into the fortress, you get to choose like which of your commanders is going to do what. You can buy like modifiers for them. So like you can get like some giant trolls that are going to punch down the walls, things like this. But when you're actually in there, it's like super intense, and it kind of falls to pieces in terms of like your best laid plans. All your warlords are getting killed, like they're all bleeding out. Like whenever one of them dies, like it comes and tells you this guy's been brutalized and all this kind of stuff, which is fun. But what I really loved, and it's something I didn't know the game did, was savior orcs. So if you've got loyal warlords nearby or members of your army who you've already kind of dominated and kind of turned to your side, they might save you from sort of sudden death. So you know when you fall down in the game and then you get a chance to do a quick time event. But you only get one shot at that, and then the next time
you're done. It's game over. You've then got to try again.
Yeah, but sometimes there's a chance that if one of your guys nearby, he's going to step in, and it's just the best moment because you're like, the axe is like inches from your face, and you're like, this is it. And then all of a sudden, like a guy just slides in, he's like, yoink, chops off the head, and he's like, I'm here, and it says like savior, and you're like, oh, thank God. But what was really funny in this playthrough is that when I actually got to the inner sanctum of the fortress, so where you're fighting the fortress leader, I just couldn't do it. Like he was just pounding me. Like his weaknesses, I had nothing. I could kind of
nothing you could do to beat him.
And he just had all these spawning men. I was like, this isn't going to happen. And he had like almost a full health bar. Was about to sort of wallop me, and then as you can see, this guy, he just pops in again out of nowhere. He wasn't even in the room, and killed the guy. So I didn't actually beat the fortress.
You got to say it. It's just like, all right, I hope you made him war chief.
Well, no, I didn't, because
he comes in and saves your life. He's just like, all right, yeah, I've certain death, and you're just like, yeah.
Well, the thing is, earlier on in the game, I met an orc whose like main characteristic was everything rhymes that he says, and I was like, I love poetry. You know,
really, you love poetry. I've never guessed.
Says he who likes The Hobbit.
What?
It's freaking Tom Bombadil.
I'm sorry.
That's like solid poetry.
I'm sorry, right? First Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, The Hobbit. There's nothing wrong with a bit of Tom Bombadil and the Barrow-wights. I don't understand why it wasn't in the film personally, right? But you know,
that is just Tom Bombadil is an abomination. And like,
get out.
I don't think he's even in the extended cut. He's that bad.
No, he's not.
Peter Jackson is just like no freaking.
He's a Warhammer figure though. I will say that he is a Warhammer figure.
He? Tom Bombadil.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm amazed that you know that.
You know,
it's all coming out.
I'm filled with random facts. Everyone's just like, oh yeah, he's just a Call of Duty boy. All right,
no, obviously not. No, he loves made-up Middle-earth poetry. Yeah, so I installed this rhyming guy as the leader of my fortress because I figured, you know, he'd send like he'd probably invest in cultural programs. That's very much what I'm about.
Make your whole like kind of army very merry and poetry.
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun, but he isn't the best orc I've met. I'm going to introduce you to him in a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I just love that this orc saved my life. When does that ever happen? Like, I wasn't even the hero of my own game.
Yeah, it's pretty satisfying, all right? But obviously, other than being saved by orcs, it's one thing that I am very, very jealous of, right, which you got to do, and I've been wanting to do for ages, because it's in the trailer, the Balrog.
The Balrog, not the Balrog.
No, yeah, you went, no, yeah, I thought the Balrog, and I literally, everyone, honestly, I was like, oh my God, all right, it's a Balrog.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, Benny. Yeah, so I'd kind of been avoiding this, because I know they put out some sort of trailers and a bit of footage of this. First of all, I've got to say, the story missions in this game are so much better than the story missions in the first game.
I think because I think they've had a lot more time in this game on kind of pushing it forward in terms of the story in Shadow of War was kind of, I felt like was kind of like building blocks for this game.
Yeah.
Because obviously getting up to the end and getting like making the Ring of Power, which allows you to Celebrimbor to kind of make this army do these like fortress attacks and stuff, and obviously help you against the Balrog.
Yeah, so this guy, there was like a big summoning ritual, which you have to stop, but you kind of mess it up, and he comes out and he pops out, and you're like, well, obviously I'm not going to be fighting. You know, how the hell am I going to fight this guy? He's huge. So you basically work with this forest spirit who kind of summons down this giant sort of beast who fights with you.
Yeah.
So it's this kind of you're tag teaming the Balrog.
You're getting it. You're
getting there. You're tag teaming the Balrog, so you've got this giant sort of forest beastie that's kind of like punch him in the chest, and you've got to like snipe weak spots on him.
Yeah.
But when you basically get to a point where he sort of flies off and you climb onto the forest creature and you kind of clamber up, and then you basically have like a boxing match with a Balrog. I've seen the films. I haven't read the books.
Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, but it looks like that. It looks like two kind of heavyweights. Like they're properly like punch drunk by the end of it, slugging it out. But
lightweights.
Oh, well, you know what I... Oh, God.
You know, heavyweights, that's Anthony Joshua.
Well, like two boxers. Two generic boxers having a fight. But in the film, you know, obviously when the Balrog turns up, it's kind of... It's pretty bad news for everyone.
Well, yeah, like, you know, Gandalf, this guy like goes plummeting to, well, we think is his death. I'm not going to ruin anything, but, you know, he goes plummeting down, that's all I'm going to say.
But all that, you know, like, you shall not pass! Yeah. I just went in and was like, I'm gonna punch you! That was good.
Yeah. I can't believe that. Yeah, no, I get what you mean, because it's like a very iconic moment from the movie, and the Balrog I thought was kind of underused in the films, and like the stories. I thought they could have done more with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic here, and you really, like, it feels like you've got these two mythical creatures kind of smashing each other up. He's got his giant fire whip, he's got flaming wings, and it looks absolutely amazing. And we've got to remember as well, like, you obviously can't see it in the video, but, you know, when you're playing it on, like, Xbox One X or Xbox One S, like, with the HDR, like, the lighting on things like fire really pops out, embers, like, it just looks crazy good.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's just so much kind of cool stuff. I didn't actually kill him, the Balrog, because he flies off. I think he's going to be like a running thing in the game.
Yeah, definitely, because, well, obviously we've seen him in the trailers and stuff like that, and I think, because they obviously didn't take full advantage of him in the films, I think this is a perfect opportunity in Shadow of War to see more of the Balrog, have a lot of epic moments. And that's the thing I found from the amount of playtime that I had at E3 as well, with the story and like the amount of like creatures that you come across and like kind of mythical creatures or beasts, as you're saying. It's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, well, you can summon like giant like cave trolls and things like that now to your side.
Yeah,
like,
it's going to be a game filled with surprises, and I think the Balrog fight is definitely one of the coolest things I've seen so far. So I'm pretty jealous you got to do that. I'm going to have to wait until it comes out. Sadly.
Yes. So another thing that happened, and again, like some of these elements are kind of random, so you never know if they're actually going to happen in your playthrough.
Yeah.
Is I had a drake, not a dragon.
Did it have a ring wraith on it?
No. So it was a wild drake. Well, interestingly, when you're invading the fortress, you can choose to have a wild drake as one of your perks, but it will attack anyone.
Yeah, it's a neutral, so it's a bit kind of like, it could kill my own guys, but at the same time, I could take advantage and take control of it and just destroy the fortress. It's one of the most satisfying things I got to do. It's the first thing I got to do when I played it at an event in London. So satisfying. Easily one of my favourite moments across the whole of the Middle-earth series.
But there's so one of the upgrades, in fact the only upgrade I think I couldn't unlock in this build was the option to, you can aim your bow at a drake, and then you can do that warp strike up to it to set on
strike it up,
so I couldn't do that, but I could jump up onto it and ride it around when it kind of came close down to the ground. And so I just flew around burning orcs, because what else are you going to do? Like, I didn't think they'd give you that much freedom, because, you know, on paper, the Drake completely overwhelms anything, and I was thinking, oh, surely like there's going to be a limit, like you're on it and it will die like 30 seconds later, but no, you can just fly it around burning stuff. I burnt that guy, I burnt this village,
take out some catapults.
Yeah, I just did some burning. It was fantastic. The only thing you can't do is like to trigger missions. You obviously have to be on the ground.
Yeah, so you can't
just go and burn the warlords, for example.
Alright, forget this, forget everything else. I'm just going to go around the whole of the world and just burn everything.
Yeah, I also love that when you dismount the animals. I know you could do this in the first game as well, but like when you hold the button, you can like kill them as you dismount.
Yeah, so you can drain them.
Which just seems like slightly vindictive, because you're like, cheers, mate, and then stab it in the head a few times.
Thanks for helping me out against the horrible masses of orcs, but I'm gonna have to kill you now.
Yeah, well, I guess you don't want it flying around like helping other people. So, but yeah, like again, just one of those crazy moments. Like when I think of like Lord of the Rings, particularly The Hobbit, I think dragon equals bad news. So to actually like have one on your side, that's a pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think it's something that Monolith have done so well with Shadow of War and kind of expanded from the first game, is they've added so much content, like the Drakes, right? Obviously, like the Balrog, like the fortress battles that we hadn't seen before, which kind of allow you to feel as if you're like assaulting Helm's Deep or something like that, which is like, as a kid watching the films, I was like, I want to be involved with something like that, and if this is the game that's going to give you the opportunity to do that, especially with like the Xbox One X and that kind of experience and everything that I've seen so far, it's just so immersive, and it's just a game that you just want to play and play and play.
Definitely.
Mixed in with like the brutality and stuff, it's like there is like this level of satisfaction in when you're in a big battle and you're coming out on top with the rest of your army around you, and kind of you're pulling off combos, you're doing counters. And I think like just like elements like the Drake just add it to
absolutely
a whole new level.
So the last thing I wanted to point out, and it's a bit of a silly one, but you know, it really made me smile, is this game's amazing sense of humour with some of the orcs. You know, they've got big characters, like there was the rhyming orc from earlier, but the one that really stuck with me is this singing orc, which basically means he sings everything. So you meet him and he sings a little song about how he's going to kill you. We'll just pause so we can hear him sing a little lovely song.
Have heard of one like me. He prances, dances and sings with glee. Wherever there's strife, the singer is there. He slaughters and slays with such merry flair. I sing this song with all my breath. Take heed, for this interlude ends with your death.
What the hell?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's amazing. But the funniest thing is when you fight him, like, he has a guitar as a weapon. So
you didn't get killed by a guitar.
I got killed by a guitar. And then, as I died, he sang a little song about how he killed me. And I was like, fantastic.
We come to this, your sad little end. I do like to think we were almost friends.
And then you meet him again, and he sings a little song there, and he's basically, whatever action you do, he's got a little song about it.
I think you'd drive me insane. I'd just be like, just go away, please, and stop killing me.
It was one of those things where I liked him so much, I was thinking, well, I don't want to kill this guy. Like, this is the guy. I want him to be my nemesis, you know, because I like him so much.
Well, you're just like, I'll sacrifice myself to you. Just power up to be
I
a war
want to
chief
see him power up. Like, I'm going to help him climb to power, because I just want to see what it looks like.
Why don't you just dominate him and make him part of your army?
Yeah, but he loses some of it. He loses some of his charm. I want him to sing of his own free will, like, you know, a true artist spirit.
Yeah, but he'll that doesn't make sense, man.
It does. It makes perfect sense. Well, anyway, I like that this orc sings a lot. You know, it's maybe not as spectacular as a dragon or a giant fire, or a Balrog, Drake, or a Balrog.
Or Balrog, as someone says.
To give them the proper terms. But for me, the fact that I got killed with a guitar and then a guy sang a really irritating song about it, I think that is pure class, and that is not something you would ever see in Lord of the Rings.
No, 100% not. And like, I think it is got that little bit of charm to it, because obviously, I remember on Twitter when they turn their whole Twitter account into the orc from the trailer.
Oh right,
it's just gonna have that like feel, and because of the Nemesis system as well, I think you're just gonna have so many different variations, and everyone's just gonna have different like stories about this guy did this. It's gonna be like a really cool conversation starter like around that like kind of period of time. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm very jealous you got to play it. But do everyone make sure to let us know what you think down in the comments below, because honestly, this game is awesome. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, if you're a fan of the first game, this is just taking it to a whole new height. You're gonna love it. And if you are also new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, because you don't want to miss any more YouTube content from us. We're gonna have loads more from Gamescom as well. Drop a thumbs up on the video. Big thank you to Matt as well for talking us through it. Even though that you got to play it for 3 hours, I'm not bitter at all. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.